Okay, thank you very much. It's an honor and privilege to be here with everyone, so thank you for the opportunity. So if everyone can take a comfortable seated position, either seated on the floor or on a chair. Most important thing is that your back is straight and comfortable, shoulders relaxed, and just allow the arms to fall, either resting on the knees or on the thighs, whichever feels more comfortable. The palms facing upwards. Allow the chin to be parallel to the floor, spine upright. And when you feel ready, allow the eyelids to gently close, keeping the eyeballs steady. And firstly, just pay attention to the breath and how it feels at the moment. Pay attention to the duration, the nature of the inhale and the exhalation. Just center your awareness within, watching the breath as I guide this cheek relate technique. Now I want you to imagine that you're on the banks of a vast expansive lake. And it's a warm summer's night, a cloudless sky expanses in front of you. You can see the stars twinkling, you can hear the sounds of nature, feeling the warm air against your skin. A sense of comfort and security. That you are protected in this space. And you're allowed to go and reach into that place of calm within as you just watch the waters ebb and flow and the waves lapping over each other. You can see a bright, brilliant full moon in the sky, right in front of you, reflecting in the surface of this vast lake. I want you to now pay attention to the rising and the falling of the waves. And just picture these waves now, rising and falling, and observe, are they large, rising waves? Are they smaller, glittering waves? The surface of this lake represents the subconscious mind. The smaller waves would indicate lots of smaller disturbances, smaller thoughts in the mind. Larger waves would indicate deeper emotions, larger emotional disturbances. But what I want you to do now, with all your concentration and all your willpower, is to try and still that surface of the lake. So that the ripples and the waves subside. Now I want you to move your attention to the reflection of the full moon in the surface. Just picture the reflection of the moon as still, completely still, almost mirror-like. So that you can see the undistorted picture of that beautiful, beautiful moon reflected in the lake. And now gradually take your attention back to the inhalation and the exhalation, the rising and falling of the breath. Take a nice deep inhalation into the lower lungs. Pay attention to the sensations in the lower half of the body, and exhale everything out. Just bring awareness and attention back to the arms, to the legs, to the torso, shoulders, to the neck, to the face, back to the breath. And when you feel ready to come out of the meditation, allow your eyelids to gently raise, keeping your gaze steady ahead of you. Come back to the room. And when you've settled back to the present, to the consciousness of present in the body, so allow your breathing to return back to normal.
Thank you.
Okay. So that was the lake technique, the Chikri lake technique. I hope everyone enjoyed this. We'll be revisiting this at the end of the class. So just pay attention to what you managed to observe in the lake's surface. The nature of the ripples and the waves would indicate what's going on in your mind currently, and just see the difference at the end of the class and see if there's a change at all.
Drew, now that you've got us into a beautiful, calm state of mind, We're just going to close the eyes down. Allow yourself to observe exactly where you're at. Within the mind, within the body. Observe the natural breath. We're not going to be taking any specific pranayamas today, but we are just going to take lovely deep belly breaths. Allow yourself to draw your breath all the way down to the belly, ballooning forwards. Exhaling. We inhale through the nose. Exhale through the nose. Observe the sound of your breath. Observe the temperature of your breath from the nostrils and onto the top lip. Observe the movement of breath through your chest and diaphragm. When you're ready, if you feel comfortable to, guide your awareness to the alignment of the body. First through the tailbone towards the top of the back of the neck. Into the root chakra, all the way to the crown chakra. Allow yourself to find an alignment and a length from the base of the body to the very top of the crown. Allow yourself to feel a sense of grounding to the floor below and surrounding you, and a sense of lifting and growing into the space above and around you. If you'd like to, feel free to plant an intention here. Sankalpa to take with you throughout the rest of the session to nourish and grow through our asana, through our focus. Every in-breath guiding towards your intention and your Sankalpa, breathing in your mantra, whatever it may be. And every exhale, releasing away what no longer supports you and your Sankalpa. I'm going to take a nice still and inward practice today, so feel free to keep your eyes closed or heavy for most of the session. Allow my voice to guide you, and allow yourself to take your mind away from how any of the asanas should look, and think mostly about how it feels, what feels right for you. With that in mind, we're going to come into seated lateral stretches. So we're going to create a nice crescent moon shape by guiding the arms into light. We're guiding one arm gently up and over to create a length from the hip all the way to the tips of the fingers. And when you're ready, we inhale through center and exhale, come through to the other side. Allow yourself to think about the space between the shoulders and the ears. As we inhale center, exhale side. Think about the length from the tailbone to the top of the back of the neck. Think about where you can build more length, more openness, more space into the chest. Allow yourself to keep a gentle lift in the pelvic floor and the core. Last breath here. Before we come back to your seated position in the center. So we're just going to start off by allowing one of your legs to come out in front. So we're going to take the left leg and send it gently out in front of you. We want the right leg gently pressing onto the inner thigh. If this is comfortable for you, let's stay here. If this is not comfortable, feel free instead to take Uttanasana Konasana instead. So we're just going to start off by guiding the fleshier parts of the buttocks behind and to the side. Allow the sit bones to ground down to the floor. Allow yourself to draw the body nice and tall. And then we gently rotate from the thoracic spine just so that your heart space shines perfectly towards the toes. If we're not quite here yet, if you're still facing forwards, it's absolutely fine. With every inhale, you can focus on building length, and with the exhales, you might even just have the intention of moving without even physically moving, but still progress towards a gentle twist. Allow yourself to breathe deeply here, reframing the left foot. Exhale when you're ready. You might simply bend the elbows and guide the chest forwards, or you might gently walk the hands forwards too. Allow yourself to focus on a subtle bend behind the knee and a gentle external rotation within this hip. So even though our body is gently coming forwards, the toes are dorsiflex, nice and active and shining towards the wall behind you. This will intensify the stretch through the hip flexors, the hamstring, and if you do feel a tenderness or straining behind the back of the knee, guide a deeper bend. You can even guide a blanket or a pillow behind your knee. Inhale deeply, allow yourself to visualize sending your breath all the way down the muscle, down the back of the leg. Wherever you feel the sensation, we send our breath. If you notice that you might be beginning to round and close off the spine, keep a gentle retraction of the shoulder blades as though they're guiding down towards your waist. We keep our heart space lovely and open. If you find it a little bit straining to keep your neck hair nice and high through, you can gently hang the head. Every single body is different. Some people will feel more comfortable with a gentle leaning into it in terms of the crown dropping. Some people will feel more comfortable keeping that lift. Whenever you're ready, we walk up nice and tall. So we've just isolated the back body, the back of the leg, the lower back as well. We're going to turn our awareness towards the groin. Without moving the legs, we simply rotate the heart space so that we are facing directly forwards. We guide our arms forwards, roll the shoulders back and down as if someone's giving you a small massage, guiding them away from your ears. Inhale, and we exhale, slightly step those feet forward, those hands forwards rather. Allow yourself to inhale deeply. If you feel more comfortable keeping the eyes closed, keep the eyes closed. If you prefer to keep a soft, heavy drishti, then find a gaze, a focus point, where you can drop the tongue, deepen the breath, and guide your full focus and awareness to one point in front of you. With steadiness within the breath, within the focus, allows the mind to follow suit. Last breath here. Before we gently walk the hands up, clean. So whenever you're ready, we're going to take the bent right leg, keeping it in a bend. We're going to take it up so the knee shines directly up. I'm going to guide our left foot in. So you might find that you feel more comfortable with a bit of space between you and the legs. Or you might find drawing it right up close towards you feels more suitable, or possibly all the way over the body. Wherever we are, we're taking a twist for our spine. So guiding our arms up towards the sky, and we're taking our chest to shine towards the left side of the room first of all. Allow yourself to guide the arms down, float them towards the ground. So the outer side of the right arm presses to the inner right thigh or shin. And that left arm can either rest behind you on the floor, or if it feels more comfortable and you can reach, then you can take hold of the other hip. If this feels like a tugging or a straining, then simply place it at a right angle behind your back. Allow yourself to close down the eyes and guide our awareness towards the floor first. Observe the four corners of that right foot pressing into the ground below you. Observe the sit bones in connection with the floor. And then follow the spine nice and straight, nice and tall, all the way up to the top of the back of the neck. We gently tuck chin towards the neck, towards the chest. We send our drishti over the left shoulder. Inhale deeply. If sending the drishti over your left shoulder causes you any discomfort, you draw it back to center so that your shoulders are a frame for your gaze. Allow your belly to breathe and expand as deeply as you feel comfortable to with each and every breath. When we take these gentle twists alongside deep abdominal breaths, we're gently massaging through the digestive system, through the internal organs. Whenever you're ready, we inhale center and we're coming into our closed twist. So we go through to the other side, heart space melts to the right. This one we're not going to hold for as long because it is a bit more intense. And if you feel completely constricted here, what I'll get you to do is face a little bit more forwards, but still encourage that gentle twist. Allow your breath to be deep, your gaze to be heavy. And whenever we're ready, arms come back up through center. Our last position here with our legs crossed, we're going to guide the right hand down the back. Allow yourself to shuffle the fingers as far up towards the neck as we can. And then we gently take hold with the other arm. This is cow face. If Gurukasana or cow face does not feel comfortable, or if we're just trying to reach the other hand, one alternative, you can grab a belt if you have and take them and hold behind your body. Or alternatively, you can take that right arm and lift that left arm up and back instead. So wherever you're feeling more comfortable, inhale deeply. And whenever you're ready, we release our arms nice and slowly, allow them to melt all the way down to the ground. And then send both feet into Dandasana out in front. So allow yourself just a moment here. We spent quite a lot of time abducting the legs. We just want to observe how they feel next to one another. Feel free to place your fist in between the two legs just while we sit in Dandasana. Guide the fleshy parts of the buttocks away and just spend a moment here. Inhale deeply. Exhale deeply. Observe sensations of warmth within the legs, of movement of blood. Allow yourself to be completely silent within the mind, slow within the breath and still within the body. And whenever you're ready, we're going to guide the left foot into our bend. So first of all, we are taking our bent leg position, where our right leg extends long, our left sole of our foot presses onto the inner thigh. If this position feels uncomfortable on either of your knees, then we can draw the legs to equally there instead. So we start off by framing that right leg. Roll the shoulders back and down. So we want to focus on keeping that length and height through the spine throughout this entire movement. Inhale deeply, breathe all the way down to the depth of the belly. And we exhale, walk the hands forward. If you feel any discomfort or immediate switching on, feel free to deepen out of it a little bit so that you can take your time and utilize your breath to deepen into the pose. Allow yourself to utilize the introspective position to look inwards, observe the mind, observe exactly where you're at in the present. Often when our face is shining down towards the floor, the mind will wander at a slightly slower pace than when we're shining up towards the sky. So this can be a lovely opportunity to watch, observe, send acceptance and compassion, and then release away, coming back to your intention if you set one, coming back to your present moment. One last breath here before we walk the hands up nice and tall. We guide our awareness away from the back body and towards the inner groin. So we shine the heart space so that we are completely framing our two knees. We guide the arms out in front. Shoulder blades retract back and down. We tuck the ribs down. Lift the abdominals, the pelvic floor, and gently walk those hands forwards in your own time. Allow yourself to lengthen the back of the neck as if it's a neutral extension of the spine. Allow the tongue to drop to the base of the mouth. Eyes fall heavy. And if you notice the leg relaxing, allow yourself to encourage a subtle bend, a gentle dorsiflexion, and maybe a little outward turning of that right foot. Last breath here. Before we walk the hands up, we take that leg into a bend, but we shine up towards the sky now. Allow yourself to have both legs aligned with both hips, and it's completely up to you whether you want that leg creating a little bit more space, a little bit closer. You don't need to match what you did on the other side. Each body is completely different, and sometimes each side is completely different. Allow yourself, if you do have this leg over the other leg, you want to press all four corners of that foot down. Arms draw by your side before you lift them up towards the sky. Inhale deeply and we roll to our open twist first of all. So we come to the left side of the room. This is a lovely, the right side of the room. This is a lovely twist as it's so gentle on the abdominals, on the internal organs, on the digestive system. If you do want to take away any reliance on that back arm, then allow yourself to plant it behind your back. This will mean that we're using our abdominals, our pelvic floor. This will also mean that you breathe slightly more into the diaphragm as opposed to the belly, which can be a lovely toning exercise for those internal organs as well. This is a lovely way to protect the lower back. If you find your mind beginning to wander away, allow yourself to bring your awareness back to your breath. Observe any correlation between the breath and the sensation that you can feel. Any rise or fall on the in-breath and out-breath. Often there'll be intensity increase in the in-breath and a lovely dissipation or release in some of the out-breath. Whenever you're ready, the arms guide up and we melt into our closed twist in your own time. Allow yourself to move slower than you think you should. Allow yourself to slow down to observe any sensations within the hips. Give yourself permission to move if the position no longer feels right for you. Allow yourself to listen fully to your body, to the alignment of your body and your breath. And finally, when you're ready, you inhale through center. And this time we take the opposing side. So the left arm travels towards the back and the right arm comes down to meet it. Allow yourself to inhale deeply here. Shoulders gently ease away from you. You can gently draw the crown towards the front of the room if you want to intensify. And begin to lean very, very slightly forward. This will intensify the sensation not only in the glutes, but very slightly through the under part of the scapulas. Breathing deeply here. And whenever you're ready, we come back to our Dandasana. Both legs draw out in front. We're just going to close the eyes down and just observe how we feel here. Both legs next to one another. Back lovely and tall. Switched on through the abdominals, the pelvic floor. Inhale. And whenever you're ready, we hug your legs towards your body. You can wrap your arms around the legs in any way that feels right for you, whether that be under the thighs or over the shins. And we're just going to drop the ground for a lovely back of the neck stretch. Allow yourself to listen to your body here. Allow the mind to slow. Observe any sensation of release through the hips. And when you're ready, we're going to release the legs and make our way onto tabletop. Allow yourself to be mindful and slow on your transition. So we're going to start off in Virasana. We spread our fingers lovely and wide. We allow our wrists to sit directly underneath our shoulders and our knees directly underneath the hips. When our fingers are spread wide, we press forwards and down with the knuckles and the fingertips, specifically the index finger and thumb. So this will alleviate weight off of the outer side wrist. Once we've created this pressure forwards and down, we're going to create the opposing pressure backwards and down the shins and the tops of the feet. This will alleviate weight off of the knees. Inhale deeply, and whenever you're ready, we're going to exhale, tuck the tailbone down, and begin to roll into cat by lifting the vertebrae through the central spine and gradually dropping the crown. As we inhale, guide your awareness to the base of the tailbone, and we roll up the spine link by link, Envision a bicycle chain. You roll slowly and lift the crown. Exhale, tuck your tailbone. Even though we're dropping the belly in cow and lifting the belly in cat, we like to have the same internal engagement or abdominal lift in both movements. This not only protects your spine, but it creates this lovely toning of the internal organs and the abdominals. It creates a segmental control as we roll. Last breath here before we return to tabletop. Allow a subtle neutralizing observe any sensations of comfort through the spine. Inhale and exhale. When you're ready, we sink back into Balasana. Allow yourself to stretch your fingers out in front as far as you can in Balasana. Inhale, and when you're ready, we shift our weight very, very slightly forward until our knees are stacked perfectly underneath our hips. We still want to have a lovely elongated spine, so we might step the hands very slightly forward. And we're going to thread the needle. We lift the left hand and we guide it gently under into a twist. So twists won't be comfortable for everyone. If you do have any shoulder issues, any neck or back issues, you might feel more comfortable in Balasana, with the knees together, the arms behind you. If you do feel comfortable here, allow yourself to think about building as much length from the fingertips towards the hip bones as you can. Inhale deeply. And whenever you're ready, we press into that arm, we come back up nice and high. And we're transferring into the other side. So we gently guide that arm underneath and we extend this top arm away. One alternative, if your body does not like twists, is by keeping the hips high and keeping the arms out and forwards. Puppy pose. Wherever we are, we're here for 2 more breaths, if you feel comfortable to. Wonderful. So whenever you're ready, our hands are guiding out as far in front as we can, and we're going to shift our body weight all the way onto our bellies. So in this prone lying position, you might find that it can be a little bit too much for the lumbar spine. So I'm going to show you 2 options. Option 1, we inhale to rise, exhale to fall. Option 2, Sphinx pose. The elbows come directly underneath the shoulders. Our hands come to prayer. Your legs can be perfectly together, meeting the big toes, or they can be hip distance apart. We'll avoid splaying them too wide today, as we're not focusing on really compressing the lower spine here. We're just focusing on waking up a little bit here. So if you find there is a lot of engagement through the lower spine, if that's all you can think about, we send the arms further away, or we come up slightly left high in your rise and falls. Another way that we can support the lower back is by gently tilting the tailbone away from the body and gently clenching the gluteals or engaging the gluteals. We don't want to do this to our maximum potential, but just a very small switching on. Breathe deeply here, allow your breath to move your body. Allow your shoulders to be away from the ears, your heart space open. If your mind starts to wander, observe where it's wandered to. We're here for one more breath. Allow yourself to come out of this pose. You guide the arms wide and lie completely flat on the ground. Allow a relaxation and a switching off with every muscle in the body. Whenever you're ready, we're going to guide our hands directly underneath the shoulders and allow yourself to make your way to downward dog in your own transition. So we don't need to come straight to plank and press up. We can take a gentle lift onto the knees, up and back. We can tuck the toes, making your way in your own mindful transition. Allow yourself to spend a few moments here in downward dog, either pedaling the heels, maybe drawing the hips side to side. Allow yourself to spend your time pressing forwards and down with the fingertips, retracting the shoulders, spreading them lovely and wide through the back, your shoulder blades. Take your time here and feel free to rest in stillness if this feels more comfortable. We're here for one more breath. Brilliant. Allow yourself to begin to walk the toes one by one. Until you rest in Uttanasana, intense forward fold. So in Uttanasana, you might have the legs hip distance apart, or you might have them perfectly together, big toes touching, ankles slightly parted. Whatever feels best for you. And we're going to avoid rocking side to side today. We're just going to think about the release of the spine, the inwards turning movement. Allow your shoulders to hang heavy. Allow your breath to move your body. Breathe into the depth of the belly. Whenever you're ready, we deepen the bend in the knees and we roll up the spine. As slowly as you can take as many breaths, making your way up. Envision that same bicycle chain from before. You stack link on link on link until you eventually come to the standing position. Wonderful. So whenever you're in your standing position, we're going to come into Tadasana. So today we're trying to find balance. So we're thinking a lot about both sides of the body. We're going to start off by just finding our balance through both sides. We spread our toes wide, bear your weight down evenly through the four corners of each foot. Inhale. Observe the areas of your body that you're switching on, whether that be the gluteals, hamstrings, the quadriceps, the abdominals. Allow yourself to keep a nice lift in the quadriceps as though those muscles on the fronts of the legs are trying to reach up towards your pelvis. Release the gluteals very slightly and allow the tailbone to shine towards the ground below you. Shoulders are back and down. Envision someone's pulling your fingertips very, very gently outwards. Inhale. And whenever you're ready, we're going to take the hands into Anjali Mudra by the heart space. We're going to come into a lovely balanced position. So we're going to start off by lifting the right leg. Allow yourself to spend a moment just stabilizing on the left. Brilliant. Allow yourself to slowly turn out that leg and either plant the sole of the foot on the calf, the internal calf. You can plant the ankle on the other ankle, toes on the ground. Or if you're more familiar, feel free to take your hand around that foot or shin and plant it on your thigh instead. Wherever you're feeling the most comfortable today, we stay there. Allow yourself to focus on the lifting of energy from the ground below you, all the way to the crown. We think about the hips facing forwards and being lovely and square and even. And once the hips are level and forward facing, then we can focus on the external rotation of that leg. So everyone has a different range of movement in their hips. So don't worry if your leg is shining way more to the front or way more outwards. Everybody will look different in this pose. Allow yourself to avoid any pressure into that knee. We want to keep a lovely subtle bend into that knee, never pressing it outwards. Last breath here. Before we shine that leg to face forwards, and we're going to use our proprioception. So we're just going to plant that foot down without checking where it's going. Have a little look down, see how good our proprioception is today. And whenever you're ready, we're going to shift our weight onto the other side. Allow yourself to guide your hands to Anjali Mudra. We guide our leg to your position. Taking your hand to the shin if you need to guide the foot further up the leg. Shoulders back and down, all corners planted. And we inhale. If you're slightly different on one side than the other, that's fine. Everybody is unilateral, so you'll find one side of your body is quite easy to do something on, and the other side might be a little bit more difficult. This can be a lovely tool as well into where we're at today energetically, mentally. Often when we're balancing very easily on the right, it will mean that we've maybe had a more energetic day or in a more energetic state of mind. And vice versa, if we are balancing very easy on the left, you might find you've had a nice relaxing day. You might be in a more peaceful state of mind. Neither are bad, but it can be a lovely reflection on where we're at. Whenever you're ready, we guide that foot to plant down. We plant using our proprioception. Wonderful. Brilliant. So we're coming back into our downward dog. I'm going to take 2 transitions there. We're going to start off in Utkatasana. So we send the hips back into chair. Wonderful. Inhale. Breathe here. Allow the energy to lift from the ground, through the muscles of the legs, out through the crown. You can deepen at your own pace. Lift on the in-breath, deepen the hips on the out-breath. When we're ready, we melt the arms, we lift the hips slightly and keep the belly connected to the ground by coming into Uttanasana. So this will look different for everyone. You might find our hips are super far back today. That's fine. They might be lifted. Your crown might be low. You might be hanging more forwards. Listen to your body and respond accordingly. And when you're ready, we send ourselves into downward dog. Wonderful. Brilliant. Inhale deeply here. And we shift ourselves into Balasana. When you're ready, arms come behind you. A lovely introspective position. Allow everything to melt down in Balasana. The arms can rest behind you or in front of you. Our shoulders round, heavy. Allow yourself to breathe into the back body, find space so we can utilize and breathe into. And whenever we're ready, we're going to roll into a comfortable kneeling position. And we're going to make our way onto our backs. So you can take your time lifting your way here, your own comfortable transition. And we're all going to meet with the legs hugging towards your chest. Allow yourself to think about the areas of connect with the ground behind you. If the legs don't feel comfortable here, not everyone will find this position comfortable, then just plant them down away from you instead. If you do find the legs comfortable here, then we're going to gently lift both legs up towards the sky into Viparita Karani. This is a beautiful position to take any time of the day, but especially before bed. Allow yourself to dorsiflex the feet if it feels right for you to do so that the soles of the feet shine to the sky. This will allow you to isolate the calves without overextending the knees. We allow as much of a bend in the legs as you need, as long as we're building a height on the in-breath and then deepening on the out-breath, whether that be deepening the breath itself, deepening the intention of guiding the legs towards you, or physically guiding the legs towards you. Whatever it may be, we lift and find height on the in-breath, and we deepen on the out-breath. If you find it prana or a shaking through the legs, that's absolutely fine. That's not a negative, but we're going for more of a calm and gentle approach today. So feel free to press the leg away from you a little bit if you feel that tiny, tiny shake. When you're ready, we're going to take hold behind the back of the left thigh for an interlaced finger position. We allow the right leg to either fall fully away from you or fall in a bent leg away from you. This is Supta Padangusthasana, so everyone will find this comfortable or uncomfortable for different reasons. If you have tight hip flexors, we'll keep that bent leg on the right. If you would like to focus on maybe elongating tight hamstrings or calves, and you extend that leg away. Wherever we are, we want to square off the hips, elongate the spine. Think about where you can build length. Draw an inner smile behind your lips. And send the breath all the way down to the muscles within the legs. And having you all ready, we're going to send that leg, that left leg, into a bend. We hook the ankle over the opposing leg spine and gently press your inner left thigh away from you. So this is a reclined king pigeon variation. You might find that this does not suit your hip or your knee. And if that is the case, feel free to keep that leg down on the ground and explore maybe elongating it out in this direction instead. If you do feel comfortable here, we dorsiflex that left foot so the sole of the foot shines towards the right wall. And we either press your inner left thigh away, or we guide both feet towards you, or both legs towards you, and interlace behind the right. If you enjoy this intensified position, but the interlaces compressing or constricting the breath, feel free to take hold of the knee or the ankle of that left thigh instead. Breathe deeply all the way down to the belly. And observe the correlation between the breath and the sensation you feel. Allow the mind to be still, the breath to be slow, the body and the eyes heavy. And lastly, plant that right foot down. Good. So we're going to lift that right leg all the way up towards the sky, interlace behind the back of the right thigh. Wonderful. Allow yourself as much of a bend as you need. Envision a piece of string, drawing the heel towards the sky, drawing the toes towards the wall behind you. We take our time here, breathe slowly. Allow yourself to felt the body with your intention if you feel comfortable to. Exhale, envision a releasing away or whatever you no longer need, what no longer serves you. Inhale the new, exhale the old. The mind is most likely to wander slightly faster when our face is shining upwards. So allow yourself to keep your full focus on your breath here. Whether that is the breath and the body aligning and synchronizing through sensations, or whether you just focus on the breath. The movement of breath in the belly and shoulders. The fluidity of the breath as it glides in through the nostrils. The sound of the breath within the ears. When you're ready, we bend that leg down and we hook the ankle over the opposing leg thigh, gently guiding it away. If you would like to intensify, guide both legs towards you, either with a hold or an interlace. Breathe deeply here. Allow yourself to nourish the body and gratitude for the body. There are a lot of emotions and memories here usually within the hips and the gluteals. So allow yourself to observe where the mind wanders to, and allow yourself to flood yourself with compassion when you do find the mind wandering. Send gratitude to the mind before guiding our awareness back to your presence. When you're ready, we extend our legs away and we come into our Savasana. And we're going to revisit our lake with Gino from the start of the session. Relax down the body and close down the eyes. Feel free to grab a blanket if you need.
Just gently take your awareness back to the breath. Just observe the inhalation and the exhalation. I want to take you now back to that lake, back to shores of that expansive body of water. Now I want you to imagine that you're lying down on the banks. And there's a gradual inclination on the banks of the lake. While you're lying and you can still see the surface in front of you. Just feel yourself sink into the banks of that amazing, amazing vista. Just feel yourself and all your weight sinking down beneath you, allowing the earth to carry you. And as you feel yourself continue to sink further and further, just allow all tension sink down out of the body with each exhalation. Now guide your mind back to that lake, to the surface. Visualize how the waves appear now. Observe how the change in the rising and the falling of the tides has been affected by the calmness you have created. In your body, in your mind. And now move your awareness to the reflection of the full moon in the surface of this lake. Now again, I want you to try and, using your concentration and your willpower, still the surface of these waters so that reflection is completely understood. And as you relax the mind, the emotions, thoughts, you allow them to flow freely, waters will eventually subside. The motion, leaving a still reflection of the moon in the surface. And just pay attention now to the feeling of peace you've created, to that calm relaxation that you now feel. Try and immerse yourself in that feeling. Just allow the feeling, that peace to wash over your whole being. When you're ready, bring your attention back to your breath. Just notice how the breath is now. It's calmer, more regular. Allow yourself to take a nice deep inhalation into the lower diaphragm. And exhale everything out. Take another nice deep inhalation into the lower diaphragm. As you exhale, bring some attention and awareness to your feet, to your legs, moving your awareness, body now, torso, the fingertips, the arms, shoulders, neck, face, to the eyes, back to the breath. And when you feel ready and comfortable, allow your eyelids to gently open, keeping the gaze steady ahead of you. Bring your awareness back to the room. When you feel ready, gently roll over to one side, coming up gradually back into a seated position.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Ellie.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ellie.
Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you.
Thanks, Ellie.
Thanks, Ellie.
Have a lovely rest of your evening.
It's very nice.
Anyone wants Chino's information for a Sunday free meditation on Zoom, just email me and I'll forward it on to you.
Thank you, Ellie.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks, Ellie.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye.
Yeah.